You are looking at the Buck Rush 290, my current favorite EDC blade, for a lot of reasons, and I'll go into those. Let's talk about some of the features on it first. The handle length, when closed, comes in at 3 3/4 inches. It's aluminum here on the outside. Then there are stainless steel liners on the inside. One of those liners is the locking liner, as you see there. It's got a nice stainless steel pocket clip as well. Nice smooth stainless steel pocket clip against that smooth aluminum makes for quick and smooth extraction from my pocket and also putting it back in. It's very quick, very easy. Doesn't hang up on my clothes like some of the more textured knives, more textured EDC handles you might find. It doesn't grab on to my clothes, onto the pocket, and for that reason I think it's I love the smoothness of it. Also, you can see here that it's sort of hollowed out. This hollowed out aluminum handle, which I like because you got a little bit more grip there. A little bit of recess thing going on here. Allows your fingers to dig into it as you're holding it. So that sort of compensates for the lack of texture on the aluminum, or the lack of FRN or some other type of material that would have some texturing in it that would grip your hands a little better. Did I talk about the weight yet? I don't think I did. It's 2.4 ounces, which is a great weight. I think it disappears in my pocket. I hardly ever know that I have it on me. Or I never feel that it's on me. It's just on me. Again, great EDC weight. The blade. Let's talk about the deployment here. Pretty quick. Not that forceful, but it's quick. And there's two ways to do it. As you can see, I just use the flipper here. Comes out really easily. I do it that way the majority of the time. And it comes out very quickly and easily. And it's adequate for me. You can also use the thumb studs, though. As you can see, there are thumb studs on both sides, ambidextrous thumb studs. So with the thumb stud, that wasn't very good. Sometimes I feel like it comes out with a little more force if you use the thumb stud. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's just that I'm holding the handle with with my hand in a different fashion. Holding it down here, more of the blade down here is actually touching my thumb. So that transfer of energy from the blade snapping there is transferred to my hand, and I feel that a little more than I do when I'm holding it like so. Like so, that transfer of energy doesn't happen, and the handle sort of wiggles forward as I deploy it. You might have been able to pick that up, don't know. So I don't think it actually comes out with more force using it that way. You just feel it a little bit more. However, it's adequate in the amount of force. I think. What's the point of having a lot of force anyway? I like it. Let's talk about the blade steel. 420HC, which in my opinion is perfectly adequate for EDC use. It's easy to re-sharpen. It holds a decent edge. In fact, I can get this knife hair shaving razor sharp. I'm not going to demonstrate any hair shaving for you. I'll probably cut myself, but I can get this to the point where it will shave hair, and it doesn't keep that edge for very long, to be honest. It'll lose it after a few uses, which is fine with me because this is an EDC blade. This is not a shaving blade. I'm not going to actually shave with this every day. I'm going to open packages with this. I'm going to open boxes with this. I'm going to do a little cutting task here and there with this. And if it's utility sharp pretty much all the time, then that is perfect. In my opinion, that's exactly what it ought to be. So, 420HC, Buck does a good job with it. It's a good type of steel, I think, good enough for EDC use. Buck does a good job with that blade with their heat treat. Whatever their process is, they nail it. You can see that there's those sort of grooves, that grinding, that visible grinding in the blade. It's kind of something you see on most Buck knives. There's also hollow ground, which is something I've seen on a lot of Buck knives, and that's fine with me. I think hollow grinding is great. I don't know if I already spoke to this, but hollow grinding, as I understand it, makes it so that you can re-sharpen this for a much longer period of time. As you sharpen your knife, obviously, you're removing material from the edge of that blade, and that's kind of just how you sharpen it. But as you remove material from the edge of that blade, over time, over hundreds, maybe thousands of sharpenings, you will remove enough material that you'll actually move that blade back, that blade edge back. It'll move backwards. Not by a lot, probably not all the way up to here or anything, but it will move back a little bit. The fact that it's hollow ground means that it will have a thinner edge up here for a longer period of time. As you do more and more sharpening work with it, you'll be able to get a fine edge for a very long time. That's my understanding of hollow grinding and why it's an advantage. And I buy it. I like it. Hollow grinding works for me. It's got this nice sort of relief edge up here. Not meant to be sharpened, in my opinion. I would never sharpen it. But it gives it a little bit of strength, I think, and some piercing ability. You can see that it's thick enough, blade-wise, and you can see that it begins to taper only about here. So it's about the same width all the way up to around here, and then it begins to taper down, which means that you've got a fairly good amount of strength all the way up to the tip. And that's my experience as well. I feel like it punctures pretty well, punctures packages, whatever I need. Some of those hard plastic packages. Punctures them just great. Does a good job with it. Pretty happy with that blade. I already talked about the deployment, didn't I? Yeah, flipper and the thumb stud. Very happy with that as well. So, happy with the liner lock as well. It's very strong, feels very strong. I've got to use my fingernail to dig into that in order to get it over. Some other blades you can actually just use the meat of your thumb and it works. And you can actually do that with this, but it pinches. You'll build up some calluses if you only use your thumb meat here. Don't use your fingernail. You'll need to build up some calluses in order to be able to do that. I've made some modifications to this particular one. In fact, if you Google it and you're looking at it online, you'll see that this doesn't look exactly like what you're looking at, picture-wise, because I've removed the cam lock, sort of a safety there, which I didn't like at all. It was kind of another extra step in order to get this opened. Didn't like that. There was this little cam lock here. I'll actually make another video describing how that is removed and how you take this knife apart in the future. But I didn't care for it. It was in the way. It was an extra step, and I didn't feel like it was a safety measure that I needed. I keep this in my pocket on my right side, which means that this clip is on the outside, obviously, which means that the blade here is resting up against the back side of my pocket. Okay, so it's hard up against a piece of material, piece of fabric, and it's not going anywhere. Even if this gets activated to some degree, it won't open, maybe past there, because it can't. There's material stopping it, and it just doesn't. The springs aren't strong enough to overcome that material and tear anything. They're not. So, what's the point of having that cam lock? At least in my everyday use, I don't feel like it's necessary. Took it off. Again, I'll show you how that's done in the video where I take this apart. Another change that I made is some jimping right here. Yeah, you betcha. It's nice. It's not a good looking job necessarily. If you get a close look at it, it's kind of ragged around the edges. Yeah, well, you know what? It's the first time I ever tried it on any knife, and I'm happy with how it turned out, even though it doesn't look beautiful. Got some good purchase on it here now. My thumb can really dig into that. What I'm going to need to dig my thumb into to cut, I'm not sure, but I think it's useful. So you've got this here, this liner lock here that kind of locks this finger into place. Then you've got this homemade jimping that locks my thumb into place. And now my piercing tasks are much more secure. I don't feel like my finger's going to go forward. That's some of the changes I made to it, and I'm happy with them. So here we are, the Buck Rush 290 in platinum aluminum. Very happy with it. Great EDC. Thanks for watching.